The President requests the heads of media institutions to refrain from publishing news that could be harmful for national unity. Practical examinations for enrollment of university students for aesthetic and architect courses have been cancelled. A special program for enlightening students and teachers about dengue. And in news overseas, Francois Hollande has taken oath as the new president of France.
Now for a look at those and other stories in detail. President Mahinda Rajapaksa said that all forms of communalism, whether it is Sinhala, Tamil or Muslim, will be rejected. He said that everyone should act with responsibility to prevent a re-emergence of a communalist clash. The President requested the heads of media institutions to help him in this regard. The President made these comments at a discussion held with the heads of digital print media institutions at Temple Trees this morning. The President said communalism is harmful to Sri Lanka's progress and development and therefore requested the print and digital media and broadcasting institutions not to allow any form of communalism. He also requested them to refrain from publishing news that could encourage underground and illegal activities. He pointed out that sometimes news that is advantageous for criminals and that hinders investigations are being published. He said that it is his aspiration to see all Sri Lankans living in peace and prosperity after completely eliminating terrorism.
Well, the attempt made by Sirasa Media Network to confirm that the telecasting rights of 2012 London Olympics can be shared has failed. They are involved in a false propaganda saying that they have equal rights. The chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Mohan Samaranayaka, explained about the exclusive telecasting rights got by the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation.
මේ මාධ්‍ය ආයතනය කරන ප්‍රකාශය
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Mohan Samaranayaka, said that the announcement being made by this media institution is totally false. The true situation is this. The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation in 2008, that is at the end of the Olympic Sports Festival, informed Asia Broadcasting Union about Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation's intention of having the telecasting rights for the 2012 Olympic Festival. It was accepted by the Asia Broadcasting Union. In December 2011, the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation entered into an agreement with the Asia Broadcasting Union for which the Rupavahini Corporation paid a sum of $35,000 to the Asia Broadcasting Union. In that agreement, the exclusive telecasting rights is clearly stated. This agreement is valid up to 31st of December 2012.
MTV, CSN and SLRC are bona fide members and therefore have rights as members. The members have agreed for previous events and for London to share rights and programming where two or more want the event. That is the convention, the legal precedent which has been followed for years and by which all members are bound.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Mohan Samaranayaka, said that when an agreement is signed, it becomes a legal document. After that, it can be changed only by the relevant parties, or else, if there is a problem, it can be changed by the courts only. It seems that this particular media institution and the Asia Broadcasting Union sports director John Barton, who attempts to give the right of the Olympic Festival to this institution, are not aware as to what an agreement is.
It was explained to SLRC personnel at meetings in Colombo in November and again in December last year that could only happen if no other APU member in Sri Lanka wanted the games. In other words, there was only a single taker. We offered the same advice to members in Mongolia and Indonesia, where a similar situation had arisen. They understood.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Mohan Samaranayaka, said that the agreement mentioned earlier has been signed by him on behalf of the Rupavahini Corporation and the General Secretary of the ABU, Javid Motagi, on behalf of the Asian Broadcasting Union. John Barton has no right to change this agreement or to sign for the agreement. It is very clear that Mr. John Barton is very keen to hand over this telecasting right to the Sirasa Media Network. The reason is because he intermittently works for the Sirasa institution on payment basis.
MTV was the third broadcast to express an interest. They too, under our rules, are entitled to the event and to share the costs.
Chairman of SLRC, Mohan Samaranayake, said that when there are several television or broadcasting institutions in a country and many of them express intention of getting telecasting or broadcasting rights, there is a separate mechanism in this respect. That is, all those institutions get together and work as a team. This is referred to as the pool system. As present, there is no such pool system between the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, which holds the membership in the Asia Broadcasting Union, and other media institutions. Therefore, the General Secretary of the Asia Broadcasting Union, Mr. Motagi, proposed in an email to me suggesting that it is suitable to form such a pool in the next occasion. It is only to the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation that has the right to decide under the agreement to decide whether it will share the rights with some other institutions or not.
Practical examinations for enrolling university students for aesthetic and architect courses have been cancelled. The Minister of Higher Education, S.P. Dissanayake, said the reason for this is that practical examinations are held without transparency. The minister made these comments addressing a media conference in Colombo today. The University Grants Commission points out that even students who have obtained 3 A passes in the advanced level examination are failing in the practical examination. It has been pointed out by academia as well as the students that there are malpractices and other problems in practical examinations. The minister said, therefore, in future, students will be enrolled for aesthetic and architect courses based on the Z-score obtained at the advanced level examination. Minister S.P. Dissanayake said that the marks given in the practical examination has been increased. He said that lecturers have attended the examinations as supervisors and improved the conditions of the exams. Under the new arrangements, students who pass the advanced levels with higher marks will be able to enter university. The minister also said that the President has decided to appoint an independent experts committee to find out alternatives for the Z-score system. He said that in formulating a new system, the judgment of the court case now being held in the Supreme Court will also be taken into consideration. A presidential commission has been appointed to look into the salaries and cadres of the non-academic staff of the universities. The minister said that problems will be solved based on the recommendations of this committee. Deputy Minister Nandimitra Ekanayake also attended the media conference. Meanwhile, the Met Department informed that the southwest monsoon will be fully active between the 20th and 30th of this month. With the commencement of the monsoon, low-lying areas in the western region could experience heavy showers. The Director General of the Met Department, S.H. Karyawasam, said that the monsoon rains can be expected until September. He made these comments at a media conference held in Colombo today. The southwest monsoon rains will be experienced in the Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara, Kegol, Ratnapura, Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. He said already the windy climate coming in from the southwest has started.
Right now we are having the very weak but the the winds from westerly winds, that is, even the winds are coming from the west basically. That's sweeping the just something like warm motion. Warm means the temperature is something like temperature 29, 30 or something like that. So that brings a good, the amount of moisture. So that also wind is weak. So we feel quite uncomfortable conditions, sweating and so on during this period.
Heavy rains and strong winds could be expected during the monsoon season.
We can expect some sort of the floods, so the conditions, and also the something like mild landslides and all the hilly areas in the southwestern parts.
The paddy cultivation in the Yalla season in the low country wet areas is based on the southwest monsoon. In the Kalutara district alone, it has been targeted to cultivate 14,000 hectares of paddy during the Yalla season. Of this extent, only 500 hectares have now been used for cultivation. In the Colombo and Gampaha districts, 12,000 hectares are to be cultivated with paddy in the Yalla season. More local news coming up after this break.
Welcome back, and we move on to more local news. The Economic Times newspaper points out that Sri Lanka has now got the opportunity of developing rapidly by expanding the regional trade. It says that after ending terrorism, Sri Lanka has got the possibility of emerging as a strong, developed nation. The Economic Times, which started in 1961, is a popular business newspaper in India. The entire economy of the nation became stagnant due to terrorism. Due to the war, the northern and eastern provinces were not contributing to the development. The Economic Times points out that after the end of the war, all areas became united as one nation, and Sri Lanka was able to achieve an economic development rate over 7%. It also states that President Mahinda Rajapaksa has been able to combine all forces and steer the country towards a rapid economic development. The Economic Times further states that, therefore, Sri Lanka will become a bridge joining all countries in the region.
The United National Party informs that they will extend their fullest cooperation in finding a political solution with the Sri Lankan identity to the problems in the north. A group of representatives of the UNP held talks at Temple Trees yesterday at the invitation of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The General Secretary of the United National Party, Tissa Atthanaika, addressing a media conference today, said that after the talks, steps were taken to enlighten the other political parties in the opposition as well. General Secretary of the United National Party, Tissa Atthanaika, said that the President invited them in respect of finding a political solution for the problem and with the idea that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the United National Party could contribute to a great extent. He said that their stance was a solution with the Sri Lankan identity because as a party, if we are taking any action, we cannot avoid that. He said that they are prepared to provide fullest cooperation to make the Parliamentary Select Committee a meaningful committee.
The Ministry of Health informs that a program of enlightening students and teachers on the prevention of dengue will be launched. LABI scientists, assistants and epidemic diseases officials will join this program. And today is the second day of the National Week for Dengue Prevention. A program of enlightening the teachers and students was held at the Nalanda Vidyalaya in Colombo today. They were enlightened on identifying places that could breed mosquitoes, destroying of mosquitoes in such places, management of garbage, and identifying the mosquito larvae. The dengue prevention program has held similar training sessions in 5 schools in several provinces. Minister Maitripala Sirisena also joined the Nalanda College training program. The minister said that 100% of people's cooperation is required for prevention of the dengue disease.
The rehearsals for the Victory Parade at Golfers Green on the 19th were held today as well. The rehearsal started yesterday. For the parade this year, 850 officials representing the Tri-Forces, Police and Civil Defence Unit will take part. The Chief Commander of the parade will be Major General Jagat Ramukpatha. He will join the parade under the Eastern, Jaffna, Wani Eastern, Wani Western and Wani Central forward lines. Armed vehicles and artillery units consisting 148 vehicles belonging to various regiments will also join the parade. 150 disabled soldiers will join the parade in their wheelchairs. It has also been planned for 15 parachute soldiers of the Tri-Forces to alight at the Golfers Green. 33 aircrafts belonging to Sri Lanka Air Force, including helicopters, will fly over the Golfers Green. In line with the parade, 72 vessels and boats of Sri Lanka Navy will sail in the Golfers Green Sea area.
Well, the Archaeological Department says that suspects connected with theft of archaeological objects will not be enlarged on bail and the law will be instituted according to the Archaeological Ordinance Act. The Archaeological Commissioner Dr. Senarath Dissanayake made these comments at a media conference held today to enlighten about archaeological thefts. He said that although the excavations had no archaeological value, if it was carried out with the objective of treasure hunting, they are considered as offenders. However, the 7 suspects who were taken into custody recently when they were involved in treasure hunting have been enlarged on bail today. The Vavuniya Magistrates Court has requested the Archaeological Department to provide a report about the area in which the treasure hunting operation was carried out. Since the report was not received, the Bawunia magistrate Alex Raja has enlarged the suspect on bail. The suspects have been ordered to provide 2 physical bonds of 100,000 rupees each. The case will be taken up for hearing on the 7th of August. And we'll be right back after a short break. Yes, we move on to news overseas now. François Hollande has been sworn in as President of France, becoming the first socialist leader in 17 years to occupy the Élysée Palace. He said he was aware of the challenges ahead, including the debt crisis, and vowed to open a new path in Europe. Hollande was sworn in for a 5-year term at the Élysée Palace in central Paris. The new leader requested that the inauguration ceremony be kept as low-key as possible. The new president said he was fully aware of challenges facing France, which he summarized as huge debt, weak growth, reduced competitiveness, and a Europe that is struggling to emerge from a crisis. Hollande also said that he wanted other European leaders to sign a pact that ties the necessary reduction of deficit.
The Nepali man who holds the title of world's shortest man visits Australia and says he is happy he gets to travel the world. From a remote Nepali village to the land down under, the world's shortest man enjoys foreign countries for the first time. Chandra Bahadur Dange is 72 years old and just 21 inches tall. His stature landed him in the Guinness Book of World Records earlier this year, and now it's landed him in Sydney as well. The Guinness title enabled him to fly for the first time, and now he's clearly been bitten by the travel bug.
We move on to sports news now, and at the sports desk we have Chanakya with the very latest in sports.
Thank you, Rohan, and welcome to Rupani Sports News. The chairman of Sri Lanka Cricket, Rupali Dharmadasa, said that legal rights have been obtained for the Somerset Agreement of Sri Lanka Premier League Cricket Tournament. The secretary to Sri Lanka Cricket, Nishant Ranatunga, said that the COPE institution cannot suspend this tournament. This was stated at a media conference held at Sri Lanka Cricket yesterday. Chairman Sri Lanka Cricket, Rupali Dharmadasa, said that it was with the Somerset institution that Sri Lanka Cricket came to an agreement initially. Accordingly, he said that they have to work with them and promote the tournament. He said that more than Sri Lanka Cricket, the tournament will benefit Sri Lankan cricket players. Secretary of Sri Lanka Cricket Nishant Ranatunga said that as far as he is aware, that COPE committee has no powers to instruct to hold or not to hold the tournament. It is based on reports appeared in the media. They may have said this. For example, the COPE committee was of the opinion that this tournament is being taken to international arena by CSN institution in which he works.
Well, thanks for that sports update, Chanakya, and that's where we end tonight's edition on Rupavahini News. Thanks very much for watching. Good night.
Good night.